beautiful people. Happy night 14 of Coping While Cooped. Before I get into our step 4 priorities for the evening, I just want to give you guys a shout out. I can't tell who's listening, but I can see some of the places, and the places tell me you're not just people in my social circle. And I'm honored that you're listening and giving me a chance to serve you and hopefully help you during this crazy time. So thank you, Ireland. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, California, Oklahoma, Washington. It's pretty exciting to see a myriad of states that I don't know people in. Utah, Texas. So thank you so much. I appreciate you listening. And now we can get into the nitty gritty. Oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something else. I have a couple episodes coming up where I'm going to have a sponsor, and it's pretty exciting, not just because it's a sponsor to help support the show, but because it's something that I can relate to. It's a personal development coach that has a podcast and a workbook, and it's kind of like this breakdown from what I can tell. So I'll be sharing a little bit more about that. It's called, what is it called? Yeah, they're getting a free plug just because I'm so excited. Personal Revolution Podcast. So I know I'm going to be investigating it more, and I hope that you do too. See if there's value for you. I have a feeling there will be based on the snooping I did today. Okay, so we were working on step 4, where we're taking our inventory, and we're in the segment with priorities. And according to the book, the first one was abstinence from gambling, and the second one is to myself and to a greater power. Now, that isn't what I had put as my second. I'm reconsidering that, but either way, that's what we're going to go over tonight. So your priority, aside from not gambling, the next in line, according to the GA literature, is to myself and my greater power. And here goes. One cannot be right for other people until one is right for oneself. In order for this to happen, there must be an inner feeling of self-esteem and a feeling of belonging. An idea that self-knowledge is not enough to sustain you, but with the help of a power greater than yourself, all things are possible. That is, when you become one with the power, happiness and peace of mind is the result. So I personally agree with this. I believe that this is the difference between my recovery the first 2 years that I had clean versus now that I have 3 years clean after my relapse. I really worked hard in 2019 on step 11, which is being spiritual and practicing meditation. And although I'm still not in the bucket of the G word and a specific denomination of church and all that, I do feel like I have spirituality on a whole different level than I ever would have imagined. And my higher power is the universe. This is talking very vague, just my greater power. So knowing that we're not in control of everything, essentially. So it could be whatever you need it to be. So here comes the questions. Have I honestly faced myself and examined my strengths and weaknesses? And for me, I believe I have. However, I believe that both show up continuously, or, sometimes I'm stronger in some areas than and other times I find weaknesses. I think I did it last night where I discovered another defect or weakness, and I think that's why we have step 10 to count on. So I think I am honest. Write a description of yourself. Well, geez. I guess I didn't prepare good enough. I should have done this, but it's more fun being just real. Like when I'm doing this with you, I feel like we're sitting in the same room having a regular GA meeting. So I'm going to table the write a description of myself. I think that those of you that are listening regular are starting to learn how I feel about myself. I'm proud of who I'm becoming. I'm proud of being open and honest and willing. I like that I'm not closed-minded. I like that I'm being as brave as I can possibly be. I appreciate that being vulnerable is now part of my personality, where it never was for the first 40-something years. I like being a good role model for Kylie. So I like myself. I guess that's my description of myself. After reading the description, can you say that you would choose a friend fitting that description? Absolutely. And actually, as I was reading the first line, one cannot be right for other people until right for oneself. I believe that could be applied to relationships, right? Like, how many times have folks gotten into relationships thinking that the other person would solve the problem or make them whole? And I've always believed that romantic relationships, the other person should complement you, not complete you. And it's true in any relationship. So I pick friends fitting my description. The next one is, would you say that you are neat and clean, both of mind and body? I'm not the most organized person. I will say that. So if that's what they mean by neat, I mean, there's not like ants on my floor, bugs in my bed, that kind of stuff. But I could do a little better job of that. And my mind, the more I meditate, the more I do things, the more organized and clean I guess that's getting. The next one is, imagine a model person possessing all the qualities that would make him a desirable friend. How do you compare? Is it possible that you can strive to become that person? So I don't know if this is personality or characteristics. I'm not exactly sure what they're asking here, but I will say that I like people that have a work ethic aligned with me, that are open to trying new things, that don't want to find the negative. You know, I want people who look for the positive. So those things are important to me. And if someone doesn't have those attributes, I tend to not be aligned with them. It's not a like or dislike. It's just I know what I want in my life now. And I know that having people in my life that are smarter than me or that are ahead in recovery. I mean, we're very fortunate here. We have people with, double decades, triple decades of clean time. And I strive to be like them. I want to have that amount of clean time. I want to be in the rooms 20 years from now giving back the way that I see them give back. How would I describe my general attitude towards life? I think it's pretty good. I am positive most of the time. I'm learning how to talk myself out of negativity when it does strike, or a bad mood or judgment. It's definitely a work in progress, but I'm definitely more in tune to it. Do you believe in a power greater than yourself? Yes, I shared that already. Mine is the universe. Write a description of your higher power, whatever you conceive it to be. Be thorough. And again, mine is universe and source. I'll let you, write down your own. The next one is, what do you will or wish for yourself? So I want to be successful. And my definition of successful has evolved. And today what that looks like is fulfilling my dreams, which is part of why they rank so high on my list, and because that's what I'm so engrossed in. And essentially what that is spreading the word about gambling addiction and educating people and help contribute to getting resources for folks that need it. I hope my big dreams down the road of changing laws and impacting children learning, and hopefully, saving some folks the aggravation of the rock bottoms that so many of us have already experienced. Those are my goals. That's my wish for myself, to be able to accomplish those kinds of things. The next question, what is your greater power, will, or wish for you? And I believe that we're aligned. Like, I am so confident in my dream that it's going to work, because I believe my dream has been downloaded essentially from my higher power. Like, I don't think that I came up with this all by myself. I feel like I'm being called to be here with you. I'm being called to, dedicate the time that I put into this. And I believe that my whole life has prepared me for what I'm supposed to do next. So I believe that the greater power is actually leading me down this road. And the next question, is there much difference? Now, I could see why these questions are being asked, because if I was in a poor me place, frame of mind, and having a pity party, like when I was gambling, why don't I have enough money? Why this? Why that? Why does my life suck so much? Guess what? It sucked because I was gambling. I might have used the excuse back then, I don't believe in a higher power, because why are they doing this to me? Why are they hurting my life so much? Why can't I have everything I want? So that's what I see when I read that question. What's the difference? The difference would be that mentality of maybe blame, or if my higher power wanted me to have this, it would be a different way, almost like a temper tantrum. The next one, would living the life designed by your greater power be fulfilling? I absolutely say yes. I like I just expressed, my family and friends laugh at me in a good way. I've actually had to ask my mother, do you not take me serious? Because I tell her where I'm going to be in 3 to 5 years and the difference I'm going to make in the world. And I absolutely 1,000,000% believe it. And because I have this faith that I've come to have. I didn't always have faith first, which some people do, and I don't know what that's like. I think it's probably pretty interesting. There is one person I could think of where I've talked to about this, and actually he is part of why I started going to church, because he had made a comment to the fact that he stopped going to church when he was gambling because he felt like he was, like lying to God, or, like he didn't, his sentence that triggered me to go to church was he didn't feel he deserved to go to church when he was gambling. So I was like, deserve to go to church? Well, if that's the case, then I want some of that. So that was kind of what prompted my journey and having an open mind and a different opinion about it. So for someone like him who believed all along, and I guess I should have asked this, is, how did he feel his higher power played into, I don't want to say making him a gambler, but, and maybe it's so that he could go out and do good stuff. I don't really know. And the last question, can you become one with the power? And I feel like I could be aligned. I don't know if becoming one is the right way I would frame it. Maybe a team, like that my universe and me are going to just kick ass. So I could believe that. All right. Wow, that was a lot of questions, huh? I think I will put them in the show notes so that if you want to do them by yourself and write them out, they're there, easily accessible. This was fun. This was a pretty big one, and it looks like we have a couple more big ones, so we might be going over on time, but that's okay. Could you imagine if we tried to fit step 4 all into one episode? That would have been challenging. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful night. I will talk to you in the morning.